Hey friends, it's Palidore again, and welcome back to another video commentary. We're back here in Echo Arena, following my first video, which was pretty well received. I'm super glad that people found it worthwhile, and it definitely encouraged me to get back here and make another one, so thanks for that. So whereas the first video I did was focused more so around the looser, random nature of quick play, this matchup is actually taken from one of the numerous private lobbies that a lot of high-level players get going throughout the week. Everyone in this match has played the game at the competitive level, with 4 out of the 6 players belonging to a top 4 North American team, including Lemming, who I'm teammates with on Eclipse. Although for this video and the next one, we'll be enemies. Anyway, you can expect some extreme mobility, frequent passing, saucy offense, and of course our share of mistakes, because those will happen at any level. Alright, we're at first launch, and right on cue I make a bit of an error here in launching off my teammate just a fraction of a second too late, which messed up our timing and caused us to lose first possession. I grab onto a nearby blue player to boost myself back towards goal, but the effort is in vain. Indeed, as you get higher in play level, even a tenth of a second makes all the difference in the world in whether or not you win the first joust. Let's rewind it real quick. Looking back at what happened, the safest thing to do in this situation, and anytime you know you've messed up a joust in general, would be to put on the brakes and latch onto a nearby surface, here, 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 or even back at goal, where you can commit to defense instead of overcommitting to a disc that you know you've already lost. Overcommitting to jousts is something you'll see very frequently at low levels, and even at high levels sometimes, where players go all in on a joust and end up on the wrong side of the arena with zero hope of getting back in time. Now, you can mitigate some of that danger if you pair up with a teammate and chain boost each other back, but for the sake of simplicity, just know that the safest and easiest option on a botched joust is to just back off and put yourself in prime position to defend. So now the disc is ours. Per etiquette, the first player in line takes disc duty, and I let him know which direction I'll be heading. Now I'll stop right here for a sec. When your team gets disc advantage, how you position yourselves following the joust can largely depend on how aggressive and forward the defense is playing. There's a huge variety of offensive strategies and rollouts, so I won't try and pick a definitive best. But my safe go-to strategy is to always have at least one teammate, myself in this case, fly towards and stop at one of the tunnels. This gives the quarterback an obstruction-free passing lane in the event that he's rushed. And he's rushed. Had both receivers launched down middle or flew by the tunnels, the line of sight between us and our quarterback would have been quite obstructed and narrow at best, greatly increasing the chance of us throwing the disc away and losing possession. So after connecting on the pass, I turn around and spot my teammate cutting down the floor at high speed. While I try my best to lead the pass, notice how he stops and anchors himself to a surface here. By doing this, not only is it easier for me to make the pass, but it's easier for him to change direction and meet the pass part way. This is a great tip for players of any skill level to improve the chances of pass completion. Just be sure to anchor yourself early enough so you don't mess up your teammate who threw with the intention of hitting a moving target. On defense this time, I let my teammate know that I'll be looking to get the regrab on him, but instead of immediately relaunching, I'd hold onto him until we're further down court, in order to give myself an extra second to analyze and hopefully catch someone off guard. But a little hitch in the netcode gives me the short end of the stick, with a stun on my teammate activating super late, halting my momentum after a launch and denying me what likely would have been a steal. Nonetheless, I get the grab boost off their QB, but one lucky bounce and a good pass later, and it ends in yet another goal. But it was a risky play, and these things happen. Luckily, it's not nearly as common as it used to be. With the disc in our control, I let my teammate know that I'm going left again off the joust. Blue team doesn't rush him this time though. In fact, they're nowhere to be seen at the moment. Because of this, our QB probably could have been more patient in moving up the court and passing the disc, but that's okay. Knowing that a dog pile is likely about to form on the disc, I chose to stay back at mid to intercept any rushed clears. Blue is able to get a close save on goal, but it's followed by the expected rush clear, where my teammate's able to get in position, grab the disc, and rain justice from above. Very nice. On this launch, I hold on to my teammates back again with the intent of launching off late and hopefully taking the enemy by surprise. During this scramble, our third teammate does the correct thing by playing back a little bit and waiting for the dust to settle. But as blue team begins to break away, he decides to come up towards middle and contest the disc holder. In that situation, once he saw the breakaway forming, a better idea would have just been to retreat towards goal. if nothing else to discourage the three-point shot or the long pass, and hopefully give me and my other teammate a little extra time to get back on defense. So not even 90 seconds in and the score is an already whopping 8-6. Defense is difficult as is, and even more so when you're going against a bunch of offensive juggernauts like these ones. That said, the scoring pace does slow down a little bit from here on out, and thank goodness, because this video would have been an hour long otherwise. Anyway, I head down a different direction on our launch this time, but you can still see that we made sure to leave a receiver open in the tunnel. Though he still decides to pass it to me, notice how I anchor onto the floor here, which I also talked about earlier. It ends up being a very catchable pass, I just misjudged the bounce. And now the fight is on for the disc. Okay, as the disc floats onto our side of the arena, I want you to pay attention to how well players on both teams space the floor as they vie for disc control. On orange, I have one teammate beelining for the disc, while the other one wisely recognizes the undefended goal and loops around it first. On the blue side, they have one player going for the disc, one player in position for a pass or a rebound, and the third player back even further in position to intercept, which he does. They played that beautifully. Here, I look for the quick grab boost off of my teammate, go for the disc, and set up for the rather bold shot. As long distance as it is, I'm usually pretty confident in these shots and won't hesitate if the goal is open. It is a little low, but I'm able to recover and send a bounce past my teammate's way, but it just goes over his head. Would have been gorgeous. So with the disc back in Blue's hands and all of us a bit out of position, it's now a game of boosting back onto defense as quickly as possible. Remember, always look to daisy chain those regrabs like my team does here. It's what enables all three of us to get back to goal super quickly. Of course, we didn't have time to set up our defense really, and they were able to capitalize off of that with a nice pass and shot.
Very good. I've got it tonight.
With no imminent threats on me, I can afford to be patient here and analyze the floor, which if you remember, was an important part of my last video. Although my teammate is open, because he was in an awkward position between two islands, I hold onto the disc for an extra second to allow him to either anchor or fly through. Now, despite my patience mantra, what follows is a series of rushed shots from both my teammate and myself. It happens. Realizing the blue player was about to get to disc first, I push off the block to change my direction and meet him where I expected him to be. And then I throw it away. I got scared. We boost ourselves and one of the blue players back to our side of the arena, where we're left in a bit of a defensive frenzy once more. Blue team is able to dissect us with good brawling and passing and score again. For those keeping track at home, the score is 12-6 blue with a minute 18 left in the game. I change it up once more and go bottom middle on launch this time, which is still a viable place to open yourself up for a pass as long as your quarterback expects it. Remember folks, keep your QB informed and let him know what you're doing before each launch. You just might save a life. I do miss the disc, but chase it down and quickly send a quick yet soft pass downfield, which my teammate was able to fly towards and catch because he was anchored. He dings a shot, but it happens to all of us.
Double fired.
What happens next is a simply hilarious series of missed grabs and whiffed punches on my part, followed by a yakety-sax-worthy scrum in the tunnel. Finally, someone manages to clear the disc. I look for the quick and easy boost, check behind me really quick to make sure I'm safe before grabbing and scoring the open goal.
Nice. That was nuts. Yep. That was high level, kid sucker, ladies and gentlemen.
It sure was, Palidore. It sure was. We're now down 12-8 with only 30 seconds left in the match. As such, we need to play this joust pretty aggressively. One of my teammates goes all in on the quarterback, and I stop right at middle in hopes of picking off a rushed clear. Once I see my teammate grab disc, my priority shifts over to protecting him, or at least attempting to, in hopes that it buys him some time to sink a shot. Unfortunately, time just isn't on our side, and after a couple more whiffed punches on my part, it'll be a GG for the blue team. So there you have it. Even though our team couldn't quite pull this one off, I think it was a pretty competitive and entertaining match to watch. There's always things that could have been done better, but that's just the nature of competitive games. It's like I said in my last video, if you learn to be patient, analyze the floor, recognize your mistakes, and try to always move with a purpose, you'll have nowhere to go but up. With that said, I think that'll do it for this video. I really hope that this was some combination of informative and entertaining once again, and as always, if you have any comments, criticisms, or otherwise, they are appreciated immensely. If the interest is there, I'd definitely like to keep making videos like these, especially as I continue to learn this whole video editing business. Anyway, my bionic friends, keep kicking that robot butt, and I'll see you again very soon.